Yo, what is going on, guys? Today, I'm going to be going over the best keybinds in Fortnite Season 2 for beginners. I made this switch to keyboard and mouse just over 1 year ago, so I know how hard it can be to find the perfect keybinds. Trust me when I say this, these are the only keybinds you will need, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting out with the movement, I use WASD movement. That's what everyone uses, so nothing changes there. My jump is also on spacebar. Those are all default keybinds, so yeah, nothing that changed there. My sprint is on 2. This is a new feature they added in the new season. Obviously, you guys already have heard of it, but I like this because it's right above the W key and it's super easy to press. Then for my auto run, I have nothing binded because I have toggle sprint right over here, so it's always running as soon as I press W. I highly recommend you guys turn that setting on. Crouch, I've left control. It's just really easy to press with your pinky finger. And then force jog, I have it unbinded. It's just basically the same thing as sprint. But then for my combat settings here, you have fire. Of course, it's on my left mouse button, just normal, and then my targeting or aim button is on right mouse button. Reload is on R. This is right next to my WASD, and I use my pointer finger to press this. I just am always using this for all the games I play, and it's just a default keybind. Use is for like picking up weapons, opening chests, all that stuff. It's also with my pointer finger. It is on E right next to WASD, so it's super easy to press. Next, for my harvesting tool, I have it on T, and as you guys can see, it's super close to my movement key, so it's really easy to press. Does not take a lot to get used to. Moving on to the weapon slots, this was kind of hard for me to find, but I think I found the perfect keybind for it. So for my weapon slot number 1, I use my AR usually. I have my AR in this slot, and it's when I click down on the scroll wheel, so not scrolling down or up, it's just when you click down directly on it. Then for my weapon slot number 2, I usually have my shotgun or sometimes an SMG in this weapon slot. This is mouse wheel down. Usually people use mouse wheel down for their scroll wheel reset, but I use mouse wheel up. I'll talk about that later in the video, of course. Weapon slot number 3, I have caps lock. I press this with my pinky finger or my index finger, any of those two. Now for weapon slots number 4 and 5, I carry consumables in them, sometimes snipers, but not too much since it's chapter 3. Anyways, I have X and Z binded on them. Now for everyone's favorite part, we have the building section. So for my crouch while building, of course nothing changes there. I have this on left control. My Q is for my wall. I have this on my index finger, and since my index finger doesn't have too many keys to press, it's super easy to press the wall at all times. And then for my floor, I decided to have my floor and my stairs binded to my thumb mouse buttons. Most people bind them to like their wall and their stairs, but you guys can switch this around however you would like. But for my floor, I have this on thumb mouse button 1, I think it's called. So it's the one closest to the front of the mouse, and then the one that's closest to the back of the mouse. Thumb mouse button 2 is for my stairs. The reason I have it binded in this exact order is because it's super easy to do 90s. All you have to do is slide your finger across these 2 thumb mouse buttons and then press Q. It's extremely easy, and it's really easy to pick up. But now moving on, for my roof, I have this on left shift. The reason I have it on left shift is because it's on my pinky, so it's always free at all times. And also many big pro players such as Mongrel also have their roof or cone on left shift. Moving on, for my trap, I have this on V. This is for like launch pads, traps, and all that kind of stuff. I press this with my thumb, and of course it's on V like I said. Then for place building, it's on left mouse button. Everyone has it on left mouse button, nothing to change there. Repair and upgrade builds, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use this almost at all, so I have this all the way down on H. I almost never find myself using this in game. But now for my rotate building, I also never use these 2 things, repair or rotate building, not really important at all over there. Now for my change building material, I have this on number 3. It's also right above the W key, so it's super easy to press, and I always remember it at all times. Probably the most popular keybind when editing is F, so of course I have it on that. It's right next to your movement key, so it's extremely easy to press. Now this is what I was talking about earlier in the video. I have my scroll wheel reset on mouse wheel up instead of down, so in order to have scroll wheel reset correctly, you want to make sure your reset building is on your scroll wheel, and also your building edit is on scroll wheel. I made this mistake by not having it like this for the first 2 weeks, but as soon as you bind these correctly, it's super easy to reset your builds. The last thing I want to go over is the ping. I have this on G. It's right next to my edit key. I use this quite a lot with marking enemies when you're playing trios and stuff like that. Anyways, something that's super important when switching to keyboard and mouse is making sure you have the perfect sensitivity. So I use 3.5% X and Y on 1600 DPI. Before, when I originally switched, I had a super high sensitivity, so my builds and edits were really good, but then my aim kind of lacked a lot. So now I feel like I found the perfect sensitivity to match both my aim and building, to find the perfect match, you know. Then for my targeting and scope sensitivity, I have this on 35.3%. Targeting is mainly when you aim in with an AR, and then scoped is when you aim in with snipers, so this is a really good sensitivity in my opinion. The last thing I want to talk about is on the game settings in the building section. Make sure you guys have confirm edit on release on. This is so useful when switching to keyboard and mouse, so then you don't have to double press your edit key. It's just once, and it just makes your edits a whole lot faster. Of course, turbo building on disable pre-edit option I'd also recommend having on, so then sometimes you don't like mess up your edits so often and it messes up your building and all that. It's just I'd recommend having all these 4 settings on. It really helps out a lot. Then for my display settings, nothing really changes here. I have 240 FPS because my PC can run that pretty stable. Then I use performance mode, of course, and these are my performance mode settings. But yeah, that should be it for all the settings. Anyways, if you guys did find this video useful, please make sure you guys drop a quick sub. You can unsub at any time if you don't enjoy the content. If not, I'll settle for a simple like. It's greatly appreciated. Last thing, make sure you guys pop in code VERMAX. It's by far the best way to support me, and it takes less than 10 seconds. Anyways, peace.